Good evening. I am Marietu Sidibe and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and sports news headlines. At 3 meetings on Thursday, the people of Kombo South, Sani Mentereng and Old Yundum constituencies pledged their votes to NPP coalition. The Gambia High Commission in India, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and BLK Hospital in India, wrapped up a surgical and OPD camp with Indian doctors at EFSPH. The Monetary Committee of the Central Bank of the Gambia on Thursday revealed that total remittances inflow recorded this year as of October outperformed last year's total and is more than government's total budget allocation. Microfinance institutions responsible for implementation of a $3 million small ruminant production enhancement project on Thursday began 3-day training on the Islamic way of trading and management information system MIS. In sports news, Senegal's ambassador to the Gambia and the executive secretary of the National Sports Council on Thursday presided over the opening ceremony of the Senegambian Gulf Cup in Fajara. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. At 3 meetings on Thursday, the people of Kombo South, Sani Mentereng and Old Yundum constituencies pledged their votes to NPP coalition.
The NPP-led coalition candidate President Adama Barrow on Thursday continued his campaign tour in Kombos with 3 meetings in Gunjur, Brufut and Kukujan Keteya. At both Gunjur and Brufut, people of the coastal settlements were unanimous in reassuring the president that they would vote for the NPP. Lamin Bojang, leader of the ANRD party, and Sektijan Hydra, leader of the Gambia Alliance for National Unity Party, both part of the Grand Coalition, hail from Brufut. The message was the same at Kukujan Keteya in the Old Yundum constituency, where large crowds had also gathered to welcome and listen to the president. They called on their people to disregard what they called the unfounded and baseless accusations and derogatory remarks directed at the president from the opposition with the intention to tarnish his image. HAMAT Nkeba, leader of the National Reconciliation Party, reacted to a local newspaper report attributed to a local election observer as a lie and untrue that NPP is using government resources to campaign. He explains that the state is responsible for the security and welfare of President Barrow and his family as long as he remains president of the Gambia. As such, the government vehicles are only used by the security while the president uses NPP vehicles.
The soldiers, the police, the armed forces, the securities have vehicles that they own in their own institution and they are responsible of the security of the president, and that's what they will use to secure the president. We are in a democracy, but let people be honest to themselves. The simplicity of this man cannot be put into question by so-called observers.
Addressing the meetings, the confident-sounding President Adama Barrow urged Gambians to join him to develop the country, stressing that he alone can't do it. He promised, among other things, to engage the Ministry of Sports to help develop the Brufut football field.
Bari Gambian call lenki Gambian call drone be mondi no je. And yo Gambian call fana ala le na ko don dio sondo mo ko. Andi o ala kilimbe jannabe baluri ne fana ndu ala kilon debe laari o drone o be tagala fana. bari men kumara Gambian ko le wolum do godi inde ngo diata nyawonya do ko kere do gore koyta andu be do ko kala ko mon kolele because aliaje le bi mekuro samba ka sate o sate kono kombo andu mba forale ko jandin 2023 fen be kombo kono jang hana tara be dinkole kono president Barrow be kurango dile.
Impressed by the huge turnout, the NPP candidate told the people of these densely populated constituencies that they are top on his development agenda. He urged them to vote for him on December 4th to accomplish his mission for the people of the Gambia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
The Gambia High Commission in India, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and BLK Hospital in India, wrapped up a surgical and OPD camp with Indian doctors held between 23rd to 26th November 2021 at EFSTH Cardiac OPD area in Banjul. The team of doctors spoke to QTV about their visit. More in this report.
As part of strengthening Gambia-India relations through medical care, 3 Indian doctors from BLK Hospital are in the country to offer surgery on different conditions to patients. The Gambian ambassador to India, MUSTAPHA JAWARA, explains their visit.
Our bilateral relationship is quite healthy. It's very strong, and this will kind of enhance that because on a corporate level, we are, having building these relationships with hospitals, not only BLK Hospital, but other hospitals in India.
The doctors are specialized in neurosurgery, orthopedic, and gastroenterology. Among the team, Dr. Raviranda Vats, a gastroenterologist, Dr. Rajse Varma, orthopedic surgeon, and Rohit Bansal, neurosurgeon, and Sobi Gupta, Executive Director, BLK Hospital. They said their reason for coming is to help care for patients, especially those battling chronic illnesses.
Here, I think a lot can be done. And we are willing to contribute in any way possible from our end. And let's, to help you improve the healthcare infrastructure in this country.
So we do everything laparoscopically. That means the patient can get back to work within 3-4 days. There is lesser amount of pain, and it's really good for the patients.
We would really thank the Ministry of Health, the ambassador, who has made it possible for us to arrive here, come here, see patients, provide as much of medical services we can.
Although they are yet to conduct surgery on the patients, Dr. Bansil says he will join Dr. Jabang of the Gambia to operate on a patient who is battling a brain tumor. He further explains his interactions with other patients.
I had a chance to interact with the medical officer of neurosurgery here, and the patient that they have planned for surgery is a 8-year-old girl, and she suffers from a large tumor in the brain. So we have planned them for surgery today. Let's see how.
Binta Job brought a patient who had a car accident and hadn't been properly treated. She hailed both the Gambian ambassador to India and the visiting doctors for their support.
You being here today is raising awareness, but we also want to thank them for sacrificing and making a commitment to the people of the Gambia.
Ambassador Jawara says these doctors funded their own trip and they are willing to visit the country quarterly to treat patients with certain ailments. Gambia-India bilateral relations dates back to several decades, encompassing education, health and trade. Modu Gajaga, QTV News.
The Monetary Committee of the Central Bank on Thursday held its quarterly briefing, where it was revealed that total remittances inflow recorded this year as of October outperformed last year's total and is more than government's total budget allocation. Momodu Lamenchai reports.
The Monetary Committee of the Central Bank held its quarterly meeting on Thursday, which took a close look at our economy, with big policy decisions informed by the global and domestic economic outlook. Impressive in the statistics revealed is development of the foreign exchange market, which shows a significant surge in money remitted into the country from January to October 2021. Updating the press is the Central Bank Governor, Boa Sedi.
Private remittances continue to be the main source of foreign exchange inflows in the domestic foreign exchange market during the review period. Total volumes of remittance inflows from January to October 2021 outperformed the whole of 2020 remittance inflows by 11.4% to stand at $657.22 million US. The
IMF in October projected global output to grow by 5.9% in 2021, a downward revision of 0.1%, which reflects the downgrades in forecasts for advanced economies and low-income developing countries, partly due to supply disruptions, the pandemic dynamics, and low vaccine rollout.
There were, however, concerns relating to the political uncertainty regarding the upcoming presidential elections and supply chain constraints. Perceptions on prices for the next 3 months indicated an elevated inflation expectation, attributable to expected higher international food and fuel prices.
The Monetary Committee reports a 7.3% rise in headline inflation, which is the general inflation in our country's economy. It involves the basket of goods that include commodities like food and utilities like energy. The rise in inflation has contributed towards the increase in food prices for goods like oil and fats, meat, bread, and cereals, which are mostly imported.
The committee also noted the increase in food prices due to increases in annual food inflation resulting from cost-push effects of the structural bottlenecks at the port of Banjul.
The pandemic, disruption in supply chain, and increase in global food prices and other factors continue to shape the global and domestic economy, with a trickle-down effect on market prices. Though monetary policy measures can influence some, others are uncontrollable. The central bank governor cites the bottlenecks in the Banjul ports, which affects market prices.
If a ship comes, dock, offload, moves, the other one will come. This is a structural rigidity. And the way it contributes to increase in prices is that the waiting time of ships in high seas, they include it in the cost of delivering goods to the Gambia. The importer here, the businessman, would absorb that cost, and he or she will also pass that to the consumer.
Informed by the global and domestic outlook of the economy, the Central Bank Monetary Committee has decided to maintain the monetary policy rate at 10%, the required reserve at 13%, the interest rate on the standing deposit facility at 3%, and the standing lending facility at 11%. Mahmoud Lawin Choi, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we will have more local and sports news stories.
Marble is the Gambia's first ever election app designed to ease access to election information. The app also provides information on all past certified presidential, parliamentary, local government elections and by-election. Marble Gambia has a user-friendly interface, and thus its users will not experience any difficulties in navigating through the features of the application. Will also be able to interact with the source map to know which candidate is winning in every constituency. Luckily, Marble Gambia allows its users to receive live certified election results on election day. Download Marble Gambia today on App Store and Play Store and receive election results at your fingertip. This is brought to you by Gambia Participates and with support from National Endowment for Democracy and International Republican Institute.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Sign Language Interpretation Service is proudly supported by the UNDP Accelerator Lab.
Welcome back. Microfinance institutions responsible for implementation of a $3 million small ruminant production enhancement project on Thursday began 3 days training on the Islamic way of trading and management information system MIS. Abibatu Sise has more.
The $3 million project aims to improve the livelihoods of pastoral farmers in the Gambia by providing them with access to finance, strengthen and improve production and resilience of small ruminant farmers. The training will strengthen the capacity of institutions and stakeholders on Sharia-compliant microfinance system. Mahmoud Njai, the project coordinator, reveals that the two microfinance institutions are Supersonics Microfinance and the Gambia Teachers Union Islamic Credit Union. He adds that access to finance has become a key challenge for small ruminant producers and explains how this project will be implemented.
And a lot of money is being spent in buying small ruminants from outside the country, especially during Tobaski. So the project came at a very good time. And it is a value chain project. That is the beauty of this project. It has encompassed all the parts of the small ruminant production. You have health, you have access to finance, you have capacity building, you have direct support to beneficiaries, and a huge infrastructure development.
The project will support over 10,000 small ruminant farmers, including women and youths. Mamadou Sow, representing the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, says the project is in line with the National Development Plan and urges women and youths in small ruminant production to seize the opportunity presented by this project.
The financing aims to support smallholder farmers, producers, traders, and in general, actors within the small ruminant livestock value chain, with much focus on women and youth. Eligibility for financing will include purchase of animals, animal health-related operations, downstream meat processing and sales by operators that are members of registered organizations and individual traders holding trade licenses. Funds will also be provided for the financing of pastoral hydraulic infrastructure, such as the boreholes, wells, etc.
The project is jointly funded by the Islamic Development Bank and the Gambia government. Mohamed Zubair, an Islamic microfinance consultant, explains the importance of Islamic microfinance.
In Islamic microfinance, there are the different products for the poverty alleviation. But in conventional microfinance, they have only one product, which is the interest-based product. They calculate the interest and design any product. But in Islamic microfinance, we have a different range of the products. Mudarba, Musharka, Salam, Istasna, Diminishing Musharka, many others. So in Islamic microfinance, basically Islam gives us a scientific approach how to deal with the poverty.
The project will also facilitate construction of 20 boreholes, ruminant markets, slaughterhouses, meat stalls, and veterinary outlets, amongst others. The successful implementation of this project will promote small ruminant production and the availability of meat and dairy products. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Sise.
The University of the Gambia on Tuesday hosted a national multiplication training on internal quality assurances and study program for higher education institutions in the country. Fatisi Sanyang reports.
Internal quality assurance in educational institutions is important to make sure that learners get quality and effective assessment and education. The UTG took up the challenge to equip lecturers and educational staff to enhance their efficiency. Professor Kayode S. Adekeyi from the UTG and Redeemers University of Nigeria reveals that the training is to strengthen higher education and management structures in developing countries.
The history is to kickstart a process that will give birth to a new culture of quality in all deliverables in the Gambia higher education institution. The National Multiplication Training is part of the Dialogue in Innovative Higher Education Strategies program, which aims at strengthening higher education management structures in developing countries.
Professor Per Gomez of the University of the Gambia says the training is timely and geared towards strengthening quality and standards.
Introduction of a turnitin software, plagiarism software, the procurement of an EBSCO journal database, the appointment of well-experienced human resources, and the implementation of relevant and timely capacity building trainings. All these are efforts geared towards enabling us to provide quality and standard services to our clientele and stakeholders, contributing towards national development.
Dr. Jibril Jau, CEO of NACA, believes that teaching and research are integral components in every educational institution.
The pillars of any universities are the teaching, the research, that is knowledge generation and creation, and service to community. And all those pillars stand on a foundation called quality. You are expected to champion quality teaching at your universities. You are expected to champion quality research and quality services rendered to your community. You are expected to transform the concept of lecturer into teachers of higher education. Lecturing is one way, it's one of the teaching methods. But it is one way, it does not give much room to the learner to ask questions and to be answered. It takes two to tango. When there is teaching, there must be adequate learning. And for us to measure learning, we have to engage the learners.
Education is a continuous process. Therefore, participants are expected to learn new skills to improve their efficiency in the classrooms. For QTV News, I am Fatisi Sanya.
In sports news. Senegal ambassador to the Gambia and the executive secretary of the National Sports Council on Thursday presided over the opening ceremony of the Senegambian Golf Cup held at the Sadauda Kairaba Jawara Golf Course in Fajara. Ansumana Isonyase reports.
This is the maiden edition of the Senegambian Golf Cup, involving 26 players of 20 amateurs and 8 professionals from each side. The two-day tournament is organized to honor the admirable bilateral and historical relationship between the two countries and to allow for meaningful dialogue on possible collaborations between the two associations and provide a platform for players to showcase their potential. Basirou Sen, Senegal's High Commissioner to the Gambia, commended the Gambia and Senegal Golf Association's leadership for their foresight and commitment to the growth of golf in their respective countries.
I'm today very proud, very happy, witnessing this team, golf team, coming from Senegal, coming to Gambia to compete with Gambians. It is one figure of the good relation existing between our two countries and between our people. As you know, Senegal and Gambia, we are two independent and sovereign countries, but we are one family.
Marcel MENDY, Executive Secretary of the National Sports Council, says the Senegambian Golf Cup will help rejuvenate public interest in what he describes as one of the leading global sporting disciplines, and went on to reiterate government's commitment to supporting all sporting disciplines.
This is happening for the first time, and that is all the more the reason why we are so elated, all the more the reason why we are so pleased and satisfied to be here, because we need to revive that spirit. We need to rekindle that spirit, Senegambia spirit. And in our opinion, the Sport Council, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, this competition is going to go a long way in helping us achieve that.
EBRIMA JAWARA, President of the Gambia Golf Association, and Malik Gay, Vice President of the Senegal Golf Federation, called for more support and highlighted the importance of this tournament.
Gambia and Senegal have been playing golf in the two countries since the 80s, or probably even since the 70s. My late father used to take part, and the former First Lady Elizabeth Diouf also used to take part in the tournaments, but of course it was never formalized. Now it's the first time that it has become formalized with an MOU signed between the two countries for the tournament, and this being the first edition, I must say the Senegalese Golf Federation actually did a lot for it to happen.
And it is very important to strengthen the relationship between our two federations first. And it is showing also the very good relation between our two countries. As you heard the president and also our ambassador is here, we are two countries but only one people. So it is very important for us to give this manifestation, to give to this event the vocation to strengthen all this cooperation for the Gulf, but also between the two countries.
Golf gained national prominence in the Gambia in the late 1960s, thanks to former President JAWARA, who was an ardent fan of the sport. However, having been in the shadow of other disciplines such as football and athletics, officials are now determined to help the sport regain its lost glory and propel our national players to compete in international competitions. Winners in the pro category will receive a cash prize of $10,000 and $4,500 for first and second place respectively. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Before we end, here is a recap of the main headlines. At 3 meetings on Thursday, the people of Combo South, Sani Mentoring and Old Yundum constituencies pledged their votes to NPP coalition. The Gambia High Commission in India, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and BLK Hospital in India, wrapped up a surgical and OPD camp with Indian doctors at EFSTH. The Monetary Committee of the Central Bank of the Gambia on Thursday revealed that total remittances inflow recorded this year as of October outperformed last year's total and more than government's total budget allocation. Microfinance institutions responsible for implementation of a $3 million small ruminant production enhancement project on Thursday began 3 days training on the Islamic way of trading and management information system. In sports news, Senegal's ambassador to the Gambia and the executive secretary of the National Sports Council on Thursday presided over the opening ceremony of the Senegambian Golf Cup in Fajara. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a nice weekend.